Hi everyone, Lazy Fire here. Welcome back to the Hate the Player podcast. I don't remember which episode it is. Probably like 58. Arnold's here with me. Yeah. Arnold, hi. Three Toes cannot make it, unfortunately, but next week we will, for the first time in 2 months, have the entire crew back together, hopefully.
You understand that now that you said that, I'm just gonna, fuck off.
Oh, you're gonna disappear. It's like, well,
right
Arnold
off.
is a missing persons case right now. If you happen to be in, southern Georgia,
Just follow
northern
your nose,
Florida.
the trail of disappointment and tears.
Oh, yeah. The trail of disappointment and tears is Andrew Jackson started that, I believe, after he moved the Indians. He moved.
I honestly, as far as Southern
populated.
war criminals, Sherman is more my type.
Well, he was
wasn't
a
Southern,
northerner, but he just
anybody who burns down Atlanta, I mean, that's good with me.
yeah, and most of the cities on the way.
Wow.
I can't remember where it is. It might be in Tennessee. There is this house that Sherman just razed to the ground, and there's this memorial plaque talking about how awesome it was back when it was built. And then the last line is, and then Sherman burned it down in 1864. And it's like, oh, jeez.
It's funny that comes up because with the whole Charleston shooting happening, been a lot of real Facebook scholars talking about how important the Confederate flag is.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm insulated from some of that by being in a less insane place.
Florida's weird. Florida's not really the South. Fort Myers, which is where I live, was actually held by the Union the whole war. So what do? They named the county after Robert E. Lee.
Of course they do.
Yeah. Yep.
Of course they do.
Lee County. So.
Woohoo.
Yeah. So. Anyway, I guess nobody gave a fuck about the fort or whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So. Anyway, all these Facebook scholars talking about the fucking Confederate flag. If they're from Fort Myers, I drop that on them. I love doing that. And and my other favorite thing is just basically calling them a traitor and telling them they hate America.
Yeah, right. I mean that never works because they say they're from real America. But I mean, if you're going to support a breakaway section of the country that was really doing this, and of course we're going to get into the whole scholarship thing about the economic situation, the mercantile stuff, all that. But you're basically breaking away from the country because you don't agree with the idea of getting rid of slaves as part of it. It's like, boy, you really don't want to be the guys siding with the slave owners, 150 years later.
I mean, Southern Heritage, and they go Southern Heritage. I'm like, yeah, Southern Heritage is kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, not that Northern Heritage is much better, murdering indigenous people, taking,
Hey, that was something we did all across the country.
Manifest Destiny, all that. That's a good time.
Yeah.
But
we gave you nice things like revolvers.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I would love to have an 1844 Colt revolver or whatever. Jesus Christ, I would love to have one of those.
Good luck. Colt declared bankruptcy this week.
What?
Uh-huh. They, a couple of years ago, they stopped selling to the military and government forces, police forces and everything, because it was too low profit, and that absolutely fucking killed part of their business. Besides the fact, realize that there's almost a 1-to-1 person-to-gun ratio in this country. But its guns are heavily owned. Oh boy, we're getting into politics here. But guns are heavily owned by, if you own one gun, you're more likely to own another gun than one person is to own one single gun. If that makes any sense. If you own guns, you're most likely a multiple gun owner.
Right.
These
no,
days.
I've got 5 or 6. So.
Yeah. See, and
I'm a liberal. Yay.
Yeah. I just need to protect my ground.
That's right.
Stand my ground. Protect my house.
Oh God. Honestly, I think the rule is if you walk within 50 feet of my property, I can just shoot you because.
Oh man,
welcome to Florida.
Walk by shootings.
Yep.
They're not walking. It's just they're walking in the neighborhood, and Arnold just fires on them.
So my plan right now is to basically buy all the land in the city slowly, and then just stand on my ground.
Police state. Yeah. Getting on to lighter topics. So a lot happened this week with video games and such.
Yeah, I actually played video games.
Yeah, we had the Steam Summer Sale, there was E3, and you and I played Dirty Bomb together.
Yeah. Well, that
And
makes
what
it.
do you think
That
of
sounds
Dirty
kind of
Bomb?
like some kind of weird sexual position.
It does, it does.
Um,
But
I
yeah, what do you think?
really like it. I've been playing the shit out of it. It's probably my favorite shooter since Battlefield, really.
Really? Yeah, and it's so different from Battlefield in a
It
lot of
is.
ways.
It is. It's really different. It's made by the people who made Enemy Territory
And Brink.
and Brink, which I never played because I heard it was shit.
It was shit. But that's the thing. This game feels, if you've played Brink, it feels like a kind of, I don't want to say scaled down, because it's far larger in scope, like the maps are bigger and there's more stuff happening on them. But it feels like a more, let's say, focused version of Brink.
Hmm.
Because in Brink you had four different classes, and you had three different body types. And depending on what your body type was, it would tell you what you could do. So if you had the really light body type, you could do almost everything. If you had the heavy body type, you could do almost nothing. And some of that stuff was like crazy wall running and wall jumping stuff to get from one area to the next. And there is the wall jump in this game, of course, but that's like really
Not
the
many
only
people
thing
use it. I mean,
I use that thing all the time to get in stupid spots that people don't look. It's great.
right. But I mean, not many people use it like while fighting or stuff like that. I haven't seen a lot of it.
Yeah, it's sort of like I don't know. There's not a lot to do with the wall stuff. Like you can't wall run in this game, from what I've been able to tell. You can only kick off of it. And if you use that to get to other areas and like jump yourself up to something, you can sometimes get a pretty good advantage or cut off part of the map. So it's pretty good. But you know, there's not a lot to the movement system that isn't in most FPS games. But you know, the thing that I think sets it apart is that instead of having character classes that you kind of create, you're given cards that you can play in each round. Right?
Right.
Or,
Yeah.
well,
You get what are called loadout cards. So how it works is you've got, I think, 12 characters. They just released a new one the other day, and from what one of the people we play with was saying, they're having I think they're adding like 4 more guys. Like there's plans to add way more people.
Yeah.
And we forgot to mention it's a free to play game,
Yes, and it's in beta right now.
which automatically makes me not want to play it. But
Yeah.
you had mentioned it, I think, last week or the week, but whatever the last time we podcasted was. You
2
had
weeks
mentioned
ago.
it, yeah. And then I saw some of our friends playing it, and so I got in it. And despite being free to play, it's really good. You have 2 characters that you start out with that are free. Like it's one called Aura, which is a medic, and one is it Skyhammer?
Yeah, Skyhammer is the other one.
Yeah,
runs
he's
around
a
with that.
support guy who can call in airstrikes. And then you don't have any of the other characters, but there is a free rotation that changes every 7 days or so, I believe.
Yeah.
And it adds it gives you 3 other characters to play as. Now,
Yeah, I remember Aura being one of the free characters last time I played, actually. I think she'd just been released, so they had her out in the rotation.
she's one of the ones that I had permanently. I mean, maybe it's randomly given to you. I don't know.
Maybe. I know Skyhammer was also a permanent one that I had last time. The other guy I was using, the one with the turret, I can't remember his name all of a
Bushwhacker.
sudden. Bushwhacker, yeah. And he was actually a lot of fun to play, but in a lot of those maps, you really do want to have that airstrike, or you want to have healing abilities,
Yeah. I mean,
or ammo.
so there are 12 characters, whatever. You can pick 3 to go into any given match, and you can only pick from those 3 while you're in the match. And you have to choose the loadout via loadout cards. Like, let's say you want to play as the medic. Well, this loadout has shotgun, 40 caliber pistol, and what's the bat? Cricket bat.
Yeah,
Because it's a very British game.
it is.
And then, or maybe this loadout has an SMG, different pistol, and a stiletto knife. I mean, but you don't get to choose your setup. You don't get to choose. There aren't red dots or anything like that. Now there are a couple guns that have red dots, but it's not an automatic thing.
And it's aiming down sights is not really required.
No,
That's
it's
the
not.
other thing.
No, it's not. It's very, very, very enemy territory.
Oh yeah, it's an old school at times old school arena shooter with some crazy stuff going on. So your Q and E keys, which are usually your like U's and maybe like I keep hitting Q a spot because I'm still in the
Oops.
battlefield mindset for
Yep.
some reason. But those are your special abilities. Most characters have two, some only have one,
Hmm.
and being able to like throw down an airstrike or something like that real quick, it only lets you do it every minute or so.
Yeah.
But it can really turn the match, and you get some decent kills. You soften up enemy positions. You move in,
Hmm.
and then they throw something crazy down, or they start throwing turrets, or they start healing crazy fast.
Hmm.
It's this whole thing. It's really fun. It plays really well. I feel like it's not designed. Uh, it, there's no way. I think this is something I've come back to a few different times. There's no good way to stop one team from absolutely fucking dominating another. Like when you match teams up like that in that game, even if you match levels almost perfectly side for side, there are going to be times where teams just go no fuck you and everyone you play with and just drop the other team. And I think that's what we saw a couple times the other night.
Working together in
Oh,
in
overpowered
this
as
game,
shit.
yeah, is huge.
Yeah.
Because once you get shot enough, you go down into a revivable state,
Hmm.
and any character can revive somebody. But and that takes, I think, something like 5 seconds or so.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes a few
So
seconds.
and you're completely vulnerable while you're doing it.
Yeah,
But if
you
you're a
start
medic,
waving to the person on the ground to get up.
yeah, if you're a medic, you get defibrillators, and you can get people up instantly. So that's huge. And there used to be invincibility frames with the revive animation, so it would pay. You could just have a guy stand, and you'd be on the other side of the corner, just reviving him as he falls down, just raking in points, and he's
Oh yeah.
killing the whole team.
Uh huh.
And the only way the only way they could stop it is if you weren't fast enough on the revive and they shot him enough on the ground.
Yeah, and they take some damage. I think they take twice as many bullets on the ground as they do when standing.
I heard they take half of their health on the ground.
Oh, maybe that's it.
But
I don't know.
it is
I-
considerable. You do have to shoot them a lot.
Yeah, people don't. The time to kill in this game is crazy weird because headshots count basically as instant kills with most weapons, but body shots will take almost a full magazine to down somebody sometimes.
Yeah, but
And
it does reward accuracy, which means there cheating is a thing.
yeah, oh yeah,
There have been a fair share of questionable people, but
yeah.
um,
One of the things I like that I don't think you'd probably cover because we're just giving it a quick overview is the way it lets you know how you got killed. Which it puts two ghosts on the screen,
Oh, right,
Remy
yeah.
in red and you in white, and puts the line for the killing bullet between you and him. I think that's absolutely fantastic. It's better than a kill cam in a lot of ways,
yeah.
and it just gives you a really good, solid idea of where this guy was, what he was doing, which is always good. Because there's been times in other games where I just fall to the ground. I'm like, where the fuck was that guy?
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
yeah,
it's a good thing. Also, we didn't really get into. We'd mentioned there are classes.
yep,
You've got medics, you've got support, which give you ammo, and they have fire support. The airstrike, one has like an orbital laser, another can call in artillery. You have one medic that can put down a heal station that basically gives you area denial, which is huge.
oh yeah,
I mean that is I think that medic is my favorite because you can basically set up a base. I mean not a base, but a safe point for your team to move forward and just push from there.
yeah. It's actually fantastic to have that.
But
And if you can get the medics to set those up in good protected spots,
Yeah.
you can really keep a team alive for a long time because it heals you fast.
it does, it does. And now counter to that, soldiers who have a little more or exotic weaponry, I guess. You have Rhino who gets a minigun. Who I mean, and in probably within 20 feet, he's I think got probably one of the fastest time to kills.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
Well, the other
minigun is
thing-
pretty well balanced though, because at range it's terrible.
Oh yeah, it's like that's. I think the game does a really good job of balancing some of the weapons. Like Bushwhacker, he has an SMG by default, and up close, he's pretty much a wrecking machine, but at any distance, he's just going to have to plink his way to victory.
Hmm.
But then again, there's the sniper rifles, and if you're moving fast with those things, you can sometimes get away with them. The assault rifles are good medium range weapons, but kind of shit close up. Like, it does a good job of just taking the basic balance moves that most games do and just applying them across the board in sensible ways. I've never run against one class or one enemy that feels completely overpowered and unstoppable,
Yeah.
like you might feel in a Battlefield or a Call of Duty, where this guy's got this one weapon with these modifications on it, therefore he's unstoppable right now.
Yeah, I do like the loadout card system because it makes it really hard for there to be a meta in the game that everybody has to use.
Oh yeah,
Like some people I think would think it's a step backward, like, oh, where's my red dot at? Where's all that? And I kind of thought that at first, but then I thought about it, and every game you see wildly varied teams. You don't see the same classes.
hmm yeah. It's kind of fun. It's neat and interesting. There are people just throwing out different stuff.
Yeah, and it forces you to do different things. The only issue I've had with weapons so far, I would say the shotguns are really inconsistent.
Yes, they are.
Like wildly inconsistent, because I'll go through and I'll one or two shot like a bunch of guys and be like, oh, hey, shotguns are amazing. And then I'll go through another time and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes Aura kind of a frustrating character, because she has the fastest move time, and
Hmm.
because of that, someone was playing, I think it was CQC was saying this, she moves fast enough that the game's netcode can't quite keep up with her. And so if she's going at full bore, it's going to be difficult for you to hit her consistently
Yeah.
from the side. Up front, if she's closing in on you, it might be pretty easy.
Hmm.
But that makes that shotgun kind of deadly, and that's like the closest thing I've seen to kind of overpowered bullshit. But the maps are long enough and give you enough long sight lines that you shouldn't really be getting dominated by a shotgun person 24/7.
True, true. I mean, the map design's really good too.
Yeah, that too.
I mean,
It's well thought out.
that I gotta say, I can't really point to anything and be like, this is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they just added a new game mode, Execution, which is basically search and destroy from the Call of Duty games.
Ugh.
It works. It's Counter Strike. Yeah, I mean, it's the Counter Strike mode. So round based, all that, but it's just one of those games. It's I would say it's Enemy Territory meets Team Fortress.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good. That's a pretty good split, I think.
And the
Like
art style and everything, it's not cell shaded, but it's kind of exaggerated, cartoony.
Yes. Yeah. If you've played Brink, you'll recognize some of the mechanics. Like I said, not just the wall jumping, but the downing system, and getting people back up. That was a thing medics could do, is get people up who had been downed. But one thing I really wish they had kept was the ability to slide into people and knock them over real quick. That was like one of the really fun parts of being a really light guy, is you just run into a room, slide someone down, and just gun them. But yeah, and of course, the game mode is mostly objective based, and it's not just capture this point, but it's go do this thing and then do this thing, and the other team has to stop you.
Yeah.
There's the mode stopwatch, which is I think like the common one,
Mm-hmm.
is one team goes through this set of objectives as the attackers, and then then the other team does it, and they see who can complete all the objectives fastest or who can get the furthest in the least amount of time. And I think that's actually a really fun way to sort of balance these games, where it's like, if you're playing Call of Duty, sometimes people will say, oh, this side has the advantage on this map, or someone will play Battlefield and say, well, listen, on Zavid, if you're not Russians, you may as well not be here, or something like that. And you're like, okay, that's nice, and you go in, it's like, well, I wish we could get a chance to play this map on the other side now. And then they give you that chance in stopwatch, and you can kind of put your money where your mouth is. So I really like that. That's just a nice little thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we touched on balance, but I want to re-emphasize it. It's probably one of the best balanced games that I played, maybe ever, because like the map design, I can't, like, all of us pretty much disagree on what side has the advantage, which to me says that's probably balanced.
Yeah.
You know, like there are very few parts where I'm like, it sucks to be defenders here, or oh, it sucks to be attackers here. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
And
the only thing that sucks is if you have a team that doesn't work together. Because if you're going up, even two people who work together, you're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah. It worries me because the only thing that I can really knock it on is the same thing you're saying now, is if your team doesn't work together, which that's not really a knock against the game. That's a knock against the people who play the game.
Exactly.
Sort of how if you're playing Call of Duty and you're like, I had to carry this team of scrubs or whatever it is,
Yep.
but you're playing against an organized team that talk to each other and play with each other regularly, you're not going to win. Teamwork is OP. We know that in every single game. It's true. Where there's any sense of teamwork and communication, if you're just talking, you're going to get a slight advantage at the very least. And that's the thing. People have mics in these games. They usually do talk. It's not bad. It's just you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, they're the snipers on the free rotation right now, and that is made for some very sad games.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that was right. You were complaining about that the other night.
Yeah, the sniper is actually pretty useful because you can throw a Wookiee ball. It's a ball that it's called a heartbeat sensor. It basically highlights everybody in like a 30-foot radius around it or whatever, and puts a little arrow over their head, like they're spotted in Battlefield.
Yes, I was noticing that
through walls and all that. So it's really helpful if you have a sniper that is actually, I know, foreign concept, pushing forward and helping the team. Like if you have one guy, because it actually helps.
Yeah.
Now, if you have three snipers, it's not really super helpful.
Nope. It's like seeing Wookiee Mountain get reformed. It's just like watching these guys all hang out over here away from the vehicles and everything else with, the same sniper rifle that YouTube has told them is the best. And it's like, I don't know what it is, because I've been playing, like I've said before, a lot of Counter-Strike recently and putting videos up and everything of that, just because I actually enjoy playing it and talking about it at the same time. But every time I play a game, there is a guy who has like a P90 or something like that, and he's about to rush into a point with one guy in it, and he has to defuse the bomb, and he's got all 45 seconds left or something like that, and you watch him drop the P90 for an op, and then somebody hears the sound and just comes out and fucking drops him in a quarter of a second. It's like, why did you do that? Because everyone is fucking obsessed with being a sniper in every video game. Because it's a high-powered weapon. If you're accurate, you can be a god with it. And I swear to God, it's just like some weird sirens call that every player hears but me. And it's just, they always fall for that trap of the high-powered, high-priced sniper rifle, the one-shot, one-kill weapon. And for whatever reason, Dirty Bomb is no different, despite the fact that it's this like hyper-kinetic, fucking fast-moving, fast-playing game.
I'd say I've played probably 50 or 60 games of it, maybe somewhere in there, and I've seen maybe one sniper that I'd say, like, hey, you really helped the team.
Congratulations, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just...
I mean, one pubby sniper. I'm not talking about, like, we have people we play with, and yeah, like I said, if you're pushing up, yeah, you're helpful.
Yeah.
And all the classes are good. Like, I haven't played one that I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, and I think one of the things about that game is that you do have to eventually admit, maybe this class isn't working out for me right now.
Right.
Because if the mix on your team is, like, kind of bad, then you really just, it's on you to switch it up. To go, okay, the team doesn't need more Sky Hammers, it needs more Auras. I'm going to go switch to Aura. I've
gotten stuck playing Medic, like, the past 5 matches because nobody wants to be a fucking Medic.
Yeah. If you just if you're responsible for what you're doing, you can kind of be okay there. But when we were playing, you were just like, is anyone going to throw ammo down? Is it going to happen?
Oh yeah, no. You need at least one person who can do ammo because you will run out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you go through ammo so fast in that game. That's like maybe a one complaint, and it's very clearly done so people will play a class with ammo.
Right.
Like it's not done like as a ha ha ha. This will be kind of funny. You are not given your full stash of ammo when you spawn.
And they reduce. There are places on the map where you can get ammo. There used to be like maybe 2 for each section of the map, because the maps are generally have more than one objective.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe the first objective will be blow open this door, and then you'll blow up something else. Most of the objectives are blowing something up.
Yeah, as they should be.
Right, which I can get behind.
Mm-hmm.
But on each section, there normally be 2 ammo crates that you can stand next to and slowly get ammo.
Mm-hmm.
But they took most of them out with the last update, which I'm actually okay with, because guess what? You need to have a fucking support.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Right.
So yeah, Dirty Bomb. I think you and I will probably play a lot more of that in the coming days, because I really do like when people are on. I will jump on that game, no questions asked.
Oh yeah, most of our goon friends have been playing the shit out of it.
Good, yeah. I think it could be really fun, and unfortunately, Battlefield 4 has pretty much completely dried up in terms of players or goon players.
I know I like the game because it makes me angry. I've gotten video game angry for the first time in a while playing that game.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I've actually found myself getting less and less frustrated with video games because I played Counter-Strike more.
Oh.
I get frustrated with my players on my team. Like, 'cause I will watch them go do the dumbest shit possible.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
It's like, okay, everyone pick Deagles, and we're gonna use Deagle on this first. Like, don't do that. I've never seen someone get a kill with a Deagle. Don't buy a Deagle right now. Or it's like, all right, guys, can you throw me an op? And like, oh, don't buy him an op. He dies every single round. Don't buy it for him. And just like, you just watch him do it, and it's like, come on, guys, like, work with me here.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention. And but yeah, like I oddly enough, in Dirty Bomb, it feels like I see fewer of my team, fewer members of my team, and more members of the enemy team throughout the course of the game. And if like I come across a healing station or an ammo crate or something like that, it's like some weird artifact or like mana from heaven or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, aha, like I'm on the trail of the elusive blue player. You know, it's it feels like you don't see a lot of your team, but that's kind of the point. They're spread out over this map. They're going after the objective. They're covering different things. It doesn't feel like it can be in Counter-Strike where your entire team is like in one corner and just getting beat down. Yeah. Like it always feels like there's a way out or a way around or somewhere to go.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's 30 minutes down on Giant Bombcast or Dirty Bombcast. Damn
yeah, I've said that a few times too.
Yeah, I want to keep calling it Giant Bomb too. So I wanted to talk real quick about the Steam sale because you didn't buy anything this year, but
no, not really.
They had the Steam Monster Sale.
I did buy Shadows of Mordor.
Yeah, I saw you playing that. How do you feel about it so far?
Really fucking good, because I had just been playing Batman Origins before it.
Yeah, so you kind of got the same feeling.
Yeah, no, it's good. It is a capital G good game.
How far have you gotten in it?
I don't see. That's the thing. I don't know how to say. The game says I'm like 26%.
Okay, yeah, so you're probably about halfway through the first area.
I just took down like 2 war chiefs, I guess. Well, no. I've taken down 5. I've taken down all 5.
You've taken all 5 war chiefs down?
Yeah.
So you're about to go do the last rat bag mission so far?
I guess, yeah. Rat bag is a war chief now or something, so.
Yep, yeah. So that's actually, I don't know. The LP I'm doing is almost done in terms of story. The story is not really a lot in that game. There's like 20 story missions, and then the kill 5 war chiefs things doesn't count as story missions. So I didn't know. You run around a little bit. You go do this, you go do that. It's a whole mess.
It is interesting though. It's fun.
Yeah.
The combat's varied. It's very, very, very Batman though.
Oh yeah, it's straight on. We played Batman. Well, it's both are published by WB Games. But it's very much like we played Batman and we ported the combat over to this thing with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they do give you some quicker animations. They don't do everything the exact same. Once you start building up your move set through your upgrades and everything like that, it becomes a little bit... Combat becomes kind of sort of trivial after a point.
Yeah, I've gotten some moves and it's like, yeah. Like the area of effect ground pound is kind of...
That's a whatever move.
Yeah.
But, you know, it all balances out. I think there's some stuff in there that you'll never use, and there's stuff that you'll use every single fight.
Hmm.
Like when you get the vault and immediate stun move. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
god, that is like
Yep.
my. That's how I start every fight. Like I don't even bother swinging. I just jump over somebody and start.
Don't even hit B.
Yeah,
Just whoop.
save everyone all the time.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a fun game. I've playing through it again has kind of made me frustrated with the story and the pacing of it because, like, spoiler I guess, but it's something the game advertised heavily. You'll be taking over a bunch of orcs, and so like you'll be branding them. And the way the game introduces branding to you is Talion has never done it before, and it's like, if we could only get this orc army to follow us, and Talion goes, we could brand them if we play stealthily. And you go, what the fuck is a brand, Talion? And it's like, now hit B, instead of draining them, you'll brand them, and they'll turn on your side. And it's like, where the fuck did that come from, and why didn't he use it yet? Like, he just fucking completely forgot until
Yeah,
this moment?
I haven't gotten there yet. That's
Yeah.
huh. No, I
That's
saw
a
branding, and I see it further down the tree, and I'm about to get there.
Yeah, they don't hide. They never hid any of the sort of abilities that you'd get.
Hmm.
I mean, branding was one of the first things they introduced when they showed this game off. Was like you'll be able to create an army of orcs by using this branding ability, and it's like, okay, that's really neat. And then you start playing the game, you're like, when am I going to be able to do that? Like, when does it happen? And it doesn't happen until halfway through the fucking game.
Mm.
Yeah, it's frustrating. But what have you thought? Like, besides the combat being Batman-y and the game
Which isn't
being
a bad
good
thing.
overall? Yeah, no, it's not.
The I didn't like. I was expecting there to be more of a story.
Yeah, no.
It's not very story based.
Nope.
Like you're just a regular person for like 5 minutes at most,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh hey, you're supernatural wraith thing, and why I don't know because
Yeah, this happened because things happened.
yeah.
It is seriously, there is a throwaway line where the ghost just goes like, you were banished from death, it was a blood ritual. And you're like, what the fuck does that mean, son? Like, I don't know what a blood ritual is. You can't fucking throw these lines out at me like I fucking live on these streets. It doesn't, yeah, there's so much of it that is just, here's a plot hole. And instead of like filling in the plot hole, they just like threw some plywood over it and said, just drive over, it's fine. And yeah, it's just kind of frustrating to that.
I'm still having fun.
That's the thing.
I
The
would have liked.
captains,
I would have liked to have see a little more story, but yeah, the captains are a nice
the
touch.
the captains are really the main attraction to that game. Like, no joke. If you come to play that game for the plot, you're going to be sorely disappointed. But if you come in there going like, I'm going to mess with orc politics as much as possible, I'm going to brand this guy, I'm going to send him after this guy, I'm going to do this and this and this and this, it gets to be really fun and kind of interesting, and you pick up better runes, you exploit fears and all this other stuff, and it's great. It's really a fun game, and you can game the system in a couple spots, but for the most part, it's pretty fair. It's not overly difficult, and it's fun to play. Like, that's all you can really ask for out of a game.
Hmm. Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
So
I've only been playing this thing since October constantly.
so summer sale.
Summer sale. I bought a bunch of games. I don't remember all of them.
Okay, that's it. The end. Wrap it up.
But the one thing I do want to say is I actually returned my first Steam game.
Oh.
It was Westerado Double Barreled. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've ever heard of that.
No.
It is and I actually got a copy of Daikatana because CQC sent it to me.
Are
But
you John Romero's bitch yet?
I am John Romero's bitch all the time, forever and ever. Look at those.
Amen.
Look at that hair, man. Yeah, I tried to return a couple of games actually. So Steam added a return system a few weeks back. What the hell is Fight the Dragon? I don't remember buying that game.
Did you just like pick up a heroin habit in the past?
Possible. I think it's some sort of world builder. Don't remember buying this. Ugh, that's not good.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm looking at my list. Apparently, I bought Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance at some point, and it's a really good game that I haven't played yet.
Interesting. What the fuck is Fight the Dragon?
Still haven't played Saints 4 Row, or
Saints
Saints 4. Saints Row 4. Saints
Yes.
4 Row. Wow.
Saints 4. It is. It's a charity.
Yeah.
It's the Catholic charity that wants kids to get into competitive rowing. Yeah, so I bought a few games. Apparently, Fight the Dragon was one of them. I don't remember buying it, and it may actually have been. It may be like one of those free things. Who knows? But this is the problem that comes with every one of these things, every one of these sales. I buy a bunch of games, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna play this game soon, and then I look at my list, and I'm like, still haven't played Rage, still haven't played Deus Ex Human Revolution, still haven't played Fez, still haven't played. Let's see, what else do I have here?
Fez is
Uh,
really annoying because
Lichdom Battle Mage, haven't played that.
Fez is just completely obtuse as far as some of the puzzles.
Hmm.
Why? Because I mean,
Yeah.
it is. You basically have to look on the internet. It's
Oh yeah.
really dumb. Like we're talking like these symbols are actually coded hieroglyphs. Dumb. Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, there's some crazy stupid shit in that.
hmm But
But yeah, so sort of moving on, I bought so many games, and most of them are like roguelikes, because I'm actually on a pretty big roguelike kick right
mm,
now. I really like that style of game where you can just pick it up and play a couple rounds and be done with it,
I agree.
and know that like you go into it knowing that you are probably going to die. But I bought a couple different games. I also bought an Earth Defense Force game because Insect Armageddon was on sale for pretty cheap. But for the most part, what I wanted to talk about with the Steam sale is I bought this game called Westerado Double Barreled.
Okay.
It's an Adult Swim game, so it's one of those games that's like Volgar the Viking and Obelisk, like these games that are made or published by Adult Swim.
Okay.
And it wasn't bad. It just is a very weird game to control and play. And I know that like it's kind of hard to understand that, but one of the big draws of the game is that when you go to talk to somebody, it's an open world western, right? You go to talk to somebody, you can hit the button to draw your gun, and that will elicit some reaction out of them. Every person you talk to has a different reaction for it. And then you can click a button to cock your gun, and that will elicit another reaction. And then you click the same button to cock the gun to fire the gun, and that will kill them if they haven't already started like pulling a gun out on you. The problem is that those buttons aren't just used for cocking and firing the gun in conversation. That is full time no matter where you are, how you play that game. You have to hit J to cock the gun and J to draw the gun, K to fire cock and then fire the gun. And so if you want to shoot, you have to like remember that you can't run while you're doing this. You have to stay in one spot and you can only fire left to right, not up and down. So you
Huh.
have to get like online with these people because it's a isometric kind of shooter. Uh, and just like playing it, I just did not feel like it was actually fun. I felt like I was running around in the world like firing on people and winning most fights out of cheap trick like kind of moves
Hmm.
because you can just like screw up where the enemy is firing from because they can't move while they shoot. So if you just stay far enough away and then just like move up and down, they will fire at you and miss, and you can just get online with them and hit them in the right spot. And it's like a real whatever kind of thing. It's just more frustrating than fun. And I was just not enjoying it. So I said I'm going to use the return ability, which is something you can do with any game that you've played for less than like 20 hours and have had for less than 2 weeks, whatever comes first. No, sorry, it's 2 weeks is your maximum ownership period. So like I went to go return Dub Wars as well because I played that game twice.
Huh.
I played 11 minutes of Dub Wars, and Steam was like, "No, sorry, man, you bought this like a year and a half ago. We don't like refund every single mistake you've ever made, which just the recent ones." But in lieu of a demo system, that is really, in my mind, a really good way to kind of approach games now.
Yeah.
Just give us the chance to play it. If we don't like it after a couple hours, it's not clicking with us, send it
So
back.
so what's the exact policy? Like you get like what 2 hours with the game or something?
Yeah, if you have a couple hours in the game, then they're like, well, you kind of overdid this. I think it's like 5 or 6 hours actually. So it's generally not enough to beat it or get everything out of it, but it's enough to see a good portion of it and know if it's going to play for you or not. I feel like with as many early access games as there are out there now, this is really a necessary thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Valve was hit earlier this year for just not being good about their return policy, and now they've done something to correct it, and I feel like it's a step in the right direction in terms of all that stuff. I mean, it, I really can't expect them to look at all my games and go, well, this idiot never played this game that he's owned for 2 years. Like, not a lot we can do for this moron besides try to get him more free time or something. And they say no to that. That's totally acceptable. I made that decision years ago. I shouldn't expect you to fix my decision from a couple years ago when I thought I was going to do this. And with Deus Ex, I just really feel like it's so big and open that it's one of those games that when you play a Deus Ex game, like you are committing to something for a little while there. Like you're
Right.
not gonna, and I worry about the sort of the thing I used to do with games, which was turn them on and just power through them. And I don't want that to happen with Deus Ex. I want to kind of feel through it. Um, but yeah, the return policy, it's harmless, it's easy, it's pretty quick. If you're in the market to return some games, I suggest trying it out.
Hmm.
But only if you've bought them recently and haven't really touched them.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
no. No, not really.
So you ready to hear some E3 news that'll make your fucking blood boil? So first and
Let me
foremost,
guess, it involves consoles.
I want to. Well, the first one does. I think you're gonna fucking laugh at this. Xbox or Microsoft has announced that they are going to release a controller called the Elite, similar to the
Wait,
Xbox Elite console
wait,
pack.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It costs $150,
ooh.
and its major feature is that you can map the buttons on it as any way you want for all your games.
Oh my god, wait.
Yeah,
Wait.
those are words I just said.
I mean,
$150 to map buttons.
but, uh, but, it,
$150 to map buttons.
but,
Buy a controller.
uh,
You fucking useless meat sack. Buy this controller.
but, I mean, why do you need a controller to remap buttons?
Because.
But,
Because that is the way that works.
but, I mean, why would that be hardware dependent at all?
I don't know. I think it's something that probably Microsoft has made as a condition to its games is that controller button mapping can only be done in sets instead of customized. And they're just launching this controller partially to take advantage of it.
But,
But unless that thing's made of fucking rare earth magnets and gold, I don't
I-
understand how it costs $150.
yeah, I mean, do I get like a rim job with that? I'm like,
Bill Gates personally comes to your house and rim jobs you, yes.
but, I mean, like, I mean, I'm sure it sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I'm not. Like, on what fucking planet? Why? Why would you need a controller so you can remap buttons?
I don't know, and the funny thing is, people cheered for this thing where it's like, you can remap buttons with this. It's like, well, thank you, Microsoft, for making that. Wait. Like, everyone should have just been, like, gasping at this, like, fucking money grab, right? Because that is, no joke, the biggest selling point on this controller. It's like, it's a $150 controller, you can remap buttons with it. Oh my god, Microsoft, thank you so
God.
much.
You know what?
I can't do that on a PC at all, and I haven't been able to do that on a PC for 20 fucking years.
They they should make make it so every game, if you pay an extra $100, you can get this really awesome thing where you can actually make maps for the game.
Patent by Activision.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. That's such a, like,
really
you don't
feel-
want to.
I really feel like I got out of that whole thing while the game was good.
It's such a fucking weird move. I do not understand it at all. Like the process that went into this. If they just said, "Listen, we're going to take your normal Xbox One controllers, which already cost like $60, and we're going to make them compatible, like able to map buttons on those," they would have just been like, "Thank you, Microsoft, for actually doing a thing that we wanted to see you do." And I just actually did clap a little bit in real life. Like, congratulations, that's a brilliant move. People have been asking for this for fucking ever. Thank you. But instead, they're like, "Pay us $150, you fucking asshole." Like, it's like basically mugging your players. Like, you've already given us $400 for this piece of shit console with no games. Get ready. Like, we're gonna come back to you. We're gonna hit you up for some more money later on. But so they announced, moving right along in the Microsoft vein. I don't want to dwell on the controller thing too long, though I do kind of want to. Moving along, Microsoft also showed up at the PC Gamer Showcase, and that was in and of itself a fucking shit show because like it was set up like a talk show, and the mics didn't work for like half the guys that came on stage, and it was pretty bad. And Microsoft came on and they said Gears of War Ultimate, like the remake of the first version, that's coming to PC. They announced it right at that show, so they're bringing Gears of War to the PC. There's some rumors that the Halo Master Chief Collection could see a Windows 10 release. Uh, Rare's new game is coming to PC. Pretty much all of the Microsoft exclusive titles that don't have like a Xbox specific exclusivity deal, those are all coming to PC, and they were pretty much announced as such at E3. Like a couple days after they announced, "Hey, this game exists for the Xbox," Microsoft said it also exists for PC. Sorry about that. So people got actual like real life angry over the announcement of these games coming to Xbox, including the Rare collection. There's going to be a collection of all the Rare games, and people have been like, "Well, these games never made it to PC before." There's actually a post in the wild about this, where someone was complaining that none of these games showed up on PC before, therefore they should not be ported to PC. Like that was an argument people used. I just love how stupid people get over their console loyalties, and I mean, I make fun of the PC Master Race people all the time too.
Yeah.
So it's not just a one way street.
But I mean, it seems like you don't really hear this about PlayStation. I mean, it seems like for the past couple of years, Microsoft has been doing everything it can to get me to hate them.
Well,
Sony
did their own thing.
I loved the Xbox, the original one. I loved the 360, and then they were just like, this 10 years of goodwill we built up, fuck it.
Fuck you, yeah. Well, you're gonna hate Sony now because they announced at E3 that Shenmue 3 is coming out.
Isn't that game that was out on Saturn or something?
It was
really
a Dreamcast game. It was a Dreamcast as hell game, and it cost like $46 million in 1999 money to make it. And they brought the guy who made the first one, Yu Suzuki, out on stage, and he announced that it was coming out and that he was going to start a Kickstarter for it. On stage at the Sony press conference, announced he was going to make a Kickstarter for a video game that Sony was going to publish.
But what?
Sony has already signed a deal with him to publish this game, and then he put out a Kickstarter. He got $3 million so far, $4 million actually, and like the fundraising goals are like, for this much we'll put in subtitles for Germany, and it's like, oh my god.
What?
Yeah. It is nothing. You're not, if you throw money at this game, if you throw $60 at this game, you do not get this game. You are funding them doing extra things at the end of development. So Sony did that. They also announced that because Microsoft, well, they didn't say it out loud, but because the Xbox platforms are now underperforming versus the PlayStation platforms, that Call of Duty's DLC is going to be exclusive to PlayStation first. They announced that Hitman, there's a new Hitman game coming out at the end of the year. There are going to be 6 Hitman or PlayStation specific missions that are going to come out with Hitman. Like, they did the thing where they announced the Final Fantasy VII remake. Like, they actually announced it's going to be a thing that happens because we can't fucking leave that game alone. Like, it was shitty then, it's going to be shitty now. Yeah. Just give up on it.
I never played it. Don't care. Really don't care.
Yeah, Japan is hell. It doesn't make any sense. People just cry over Cloud. Cloud and Sephiroth. So Sony did its own weird thing where it kind of announced nothing new and just threw, like, it was almost all third-party games coming out and saying, yes, we have some sort of agreement with the PlayStation brand to bring stuff out first or only on this. It's very little exclusive stuff. There was Guerrilla Games, the guys who make the Killzone franchise, they announced a new game that looks kind of neat. And they also showed the first in-game, quote-unquote, PlayStation 4 rendered Star Wars Battlefront video.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, if you think that was rendered on a PS4, you're fucking out of your mind.
Yeah.
Because they did the same thing they did last year. Someone went over to the Xbox thing where they were closing down the Destiny booth, and they were pulling PCs out of that thing. So, they actually brought the Destiny guys out at Sony press conference as well, so they could talk about how awesome their new content was. It's just, E3 this year was nothing but like, here's our early access game idea. Here's like this game that's not coming out for 2 years. Here's this thing that we're going to get exclusive content on. I got one. I got one that's going to fucking break your fucking brain. Fallout 4 for the Xbox One.
Hmm.
Mod support.
What?
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh. You're going to be able to go to Bethesda.net through your Xbox or use some sort of service. You're not going to pay for it. It's going to be free. And you can download mods through the Bethesda service
Holy
and
shit.
run them. Now, that is not the full story. That's a nice like tagline to put on the
Hmm.
back of your box. What the reality here is, because the Xbox One and the PC are both DirectX machines, and they both have x86 architecture, they can pretty much seamlessly, well, not quite seamlessly, but close to, move stuff from one platform to the other, which makes the PC the reason why a lot of these games are getting ported to PC in the first place is because of that. But anyways,
I'll raise one of my big questions about it now before, because you might touch on this, but
no, there are no anime nude mods.
no. Well, I'm sure there will be, but some of the mods really increase the strain on your system.
Uh huh.
So how the shit are you going to do that with a mobile PC architecture?
You won't.
Yeah.
This is where this comes in. So Bethesda has said after this press conference, where the press conference is just this like big hype machine for this game that's going to come out in November. But what was said afterwards was, listen, we're going to curate what mods can actually be downloaded into this game. So you're going to come in and you might see like, oh cool, that's like this advanced Pip-Boy interface mod, and it's like, I want to get that for my Xbox One, and that's a no because it supports some stuff that is not supported on the Xbox One, or it uses some sort of script extender that we can't put into Xbox One. And you're like, okay, well, I really like this big content pack. This is like a fan made this huge mod that adds a bunch of stuff to the game. Nope, you can't do that because we have DLC that we have to sell you. Okay, well, then I want this thing that's going to make everything look a lot better, 4K textures or something like that. No, you're not going to get that because the Xbox can theoretically output in 4K, but it cannot run a game in 4K. And it's like, you do not worry about like your anything that might seem significant. You're going to get like custom weapons and like maybe a couple of extra dialogue options or something like that. Maybe like companions that are modded into the game. But I promise you right now, like a lot of the mods that people really enjoy playing, like Fallout New Vegas has that Project Brazil and a few others that add like hours and hours of gameplay. Or actually, Project Brazil is a whole new game within Fallout New Vegas, and I do not worry about that being a thing. They will not do that with that game. I will tell you right now, based on what Bethesda has said, that is not happening.
Oh.
So yeah, they announced mods for a console game. They announced that you can change the buttons on your controller on a console to your desire.
If you have a controller
That
that
you
you
paid for,
pay
yeah.
3 times what a controller is.
Right, and you can have mods on your console game if you want to follow this very strict set of mods that will be allowed for
I
your
mean,
console.
at least the mod thing is a step in the right direction, but I just don't see how it's going to work.
I honestly think it's a really nice tagline to have on the back of your box, but it's just like, what happens when those mods don't get support, or if they break the game fucking horrifically?
Hmm.
Like, what happens if somebody fucking puts some malicious ass code that, and this has happened before, that the dev boxes don't catch, that the live retail boxes will? Like, it's very far off, but it could happen, kind of thing. Like, I don't think anyone will go out there and actually do that. But it's like, why you? I can understand why you'd want to do this because it looks good for you. Bethesda is a PC, a company that really focuses on the PC side of things first and foremost. We get that, um, but it's just so bizarre that they're trying to turn the Xbox One, into this weird set-top box that's going to just do everything that their home entertainment center does, plus everything a PC does. Like, just be a console manufacturer. Make your games, make them good, make people want to play them. Don't try to just throw in these $150 controllers and here's a mod pack or whatever. That kind of sucks. Trying to think of what else happened that was just kind of fucking hilariously bad. The PC Gamer Showcase, like I said, that was like a fucking train wreck. But it was mostly like people coming out, and the guys who were making Elite Dangerous announced that they're working on a Roller Coaster Tycoon sequel, or like spiritual successor. So that's like one thing. But for the most part, it was like, here's this DLC pack for an MMO. Here's like our early access game that's not quite done yet. They had the president of AMD come out, and she showed off the new cards that they're releasing now, and it's just like, it was just such a fucking shit show. Like E3 this year, it was probably one of the worst I've ever heard of or read about. Just like on the level of games that were announced, because they showed off the Division for like the fifth time in 5 years. Like every year they show the Division off, and I think at this point it's just a fucking tech demo at E3. It was the third time, yeah. And I don't know, they just did the same thing they always do. And it's just like, here's a bunch of hype for this game that's not going to be anywhere near what we told you it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, next week, Three Toes will be back, and I can bitch more about that at him. But fucking the controller, man, I can't let that go. Like, that controller is such a shitty idea. I don't understand who, like, was in the room with the Xbox executives when they said, let's make this fucking controller, dog. And the Xbox guys were like, you've got attitude. Fantastic, let's do what you said. It just,
Yeah, I could. It just seems like Microsoft is so like it seems like everything they do is just put through a focus group.
Oh yeah.
And nobody actually thinks about anything. It's just what?
Yeah, it's, I don't know. They very, very clearly are just like
completely out of touch.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. The Xbox One Elite controller justifies its $150 price.
Wow. How?
I'm reading this now. Hold on.
Like
it's apparently feels wonderful. Its customization options are smart and already works on both Xbox One and PC.
Oh.
Because the original Xbox One controller did not work on PC at launch.
Yeah, no, I remembered because I was looking at getting a controller to play the like Lord of the Ring type game, and the Xbox One didn't work. And number two, it feels like a downgrade from the 360 controller.
Wait, what? Huh. You can apparently change out the buttons, sticks, and whatever else that you want to use on this, and there are back paddles on it. Similar to the bumpers and triggers, but the triggers and bumpers are still there.
Back paddles?
Yeah, it's weird. You should really look up a picture of this thing. It looks really fucking uncomfortable. It looks like where the battery bay is. That's like where those are. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, what?
There's like, this guy did not, the thing I found out.
And why would they name it the same thing as the old Xbox console? You know what I mean?
Because they're out of ideas. Yeah, it looks like you can change out the sticks and buttons that come with it. That's its big selling point. Like the actual like sticks. You get a package of sticks and buttons that you can just pop in and out. What in the fuck? What in the literal fuck? This makes me more angry than the, hey, you can change up your controller settings. Like that is just the dumbest white person technology I have seen in so long. The Apple Watch just came out. But it's just you have bought a console, you have bought a controller. Congratulations. Microsoft shouldn't make you pay $150 for this though. Like there is zero justification. There is just no justification for them making you pay them $150 for you to map buttons. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That should be their $60 entry point controller. tomorrow come out and announce that you changed your controller. It's $60, and we're going to release this hardware package that's going to allow you, or software package that's going to allow you to change your buttons. Just like something, man. You got to give these guys something. You can't just throw out a $150 controller and say, look at this, you can change out sticks and shit. Congratulations. I can do that with a keyboard right now, and I paid $9 for it. Like, you gotta understand, you can't just like say we're gonna go back to this well. Like, you can't just keep expecting the guys who paid you $500 for your console are gonna jump over themselves and like fall over themselves and like just press into the stores on Black Friday going, give me that $150 controller, please. Like, it's just not gonna happen. What the fuck?
I don't know, man, but they've already got some pretty fucking weird accessories for this piece of shit. Like Xbox Elite external adapter, which makes it easier to hit the paddles, I guess.
Oh my god. Are you serious? It's like a fucking
it
helper?
looks like I thought it was a joke Photoshop, but it's not. It looks like a fucking Swiss Army knife of controllers.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Fuck this thing.
Yeah.
Fuck this thing.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Alright, well, I think that's gotta be it.
Yep.
I don't have much rage left.
Yep, we're done.
Fuck
we're
that
done
thing.
Here.
Roll Tide.